Hello and welcome back to the Spiritual and Mind channel. Brandy Nicole here, back with another video. As you can maybe see around me, I have moved. I mentioned I was planning to move a few times, I think in previous recent videos. I moved, new scenery and all of that jazz, and I have taken a few weeks off of filming, and I always get so bored of hearing these things at the intro, so I'm just gonna jump on into the next thing. I actually want to talk about something that I'm working on more closely, which is reducing restlessness, reducing stimulus, like allowing solitude and quiet into my life more intentionally. And I am working through different tools to figure out which tools are effective. And I think this varies personality to personality. So what one person finds impactful, another may not. So I figured why not share, because I'm probably not the only one trying to figure out the right amount of balance and moderation of observing, consuming content, or listening to even music, because I work with clients on some of this stuff too. And sometimes I have to teach it to myself all over again, because it is the art of being human. So with generally this pattern of stimulus tends to come up, for me at least, when I'm having more stressors in less time. And that's not something I normally would just slap things on my plate all willy-nilly all the time, but sometimes things are only available to happen at a certain time. So for me, my lease was ending. I had a beach trip planned and a move scheduled all together, and I had to pack because I am a solo mama, and my kids were with their dad, so I had to pack and prepare for the move on my own pretty much. I mean, I think my mom and one of my friends asked if I needed help, but I figured I had all this time and then I didn't really use it because I was busy doing other stuff, or I thought I wouldn't need as much time, life happening, and also miscalculations happening. So now I'm at a point of trying to recalibrate, and this can happen for any person. So it's not like I'm the only person who's ever been in the boat of trying to recover from a break in routine. So I think that's the other factor. One is that life is just going to be happening at times where we're going to fall out of routine or have too many things scheduled. It just is. It just will happen sometimes. We can do our best to mitigate that, but we're not always going to be solely in control of it. So just acceptance without fear or self-doubt at the table. So I'm not mad at me about any of it. I just know it happens. So that's item number 3. And I didn't put together an outline of this video because I just wanted to talk to you today. Let's just talk. Let's see where we get. Sometimes I will be more diligent about putting things together when I'm in workshop mode, but today I'm just talking it out because that's okay sometimes. So hopefully you'll ride with me on this one. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so basically life has happened, schedule's too full, created some stress, and then there was this break in my routine because I was crushing it. My routine was really good, and I'm gonna be back soon. But basically I'm in this window now of feeling that feeling of exhaustion, fatigue. So a lot of times when we have a lot of stressors, we start to first feel fatigue, which then means we're starting to talk ourselves out of doing as much because we're literally tired. Some folks even get to the phase of exhaustion and they will not have the energy to hold on to their previous routine. And this is a window of space where we have to be careful not to be self-critical, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if we go into self-criticism mindset or mentality, then we are actually high percentile more likely to produce additional behaviors that match that inner critic in confirmation of what the inner critic is telling us. So I never tell myself, oh, you're doing the worst. I just know I'm tired. I don't have time to sit here and tell myself I'm a bad person or I'm lazy, because I just know I'm tired. That is the whole story, because I feel like any person who's in exhaustion is honestly just tired. So there's no reason to like default to self-criticism if you are literally running at a low energy level. Something that I help clients with sometimes as a therapist is reminding them the reality of things versus the emotionality of things. So I just know I'm tired. That's the reality of things. The emotionality is usually where we get, hung up on telling ourselves the story that it's because I'm lazy, because I don't really want to do anything, because I always do this, because I never, like all that stuff we could take the time to say and think. But if you really think about it, most likely you're just tired. Because if you had 130% energy level, only then can you say, yeah, I'm maybe just not selecting it because it's no longer my top priority. But even that is a choice that's more logic based than emotionally fueled, if you will. All right, so I just wanted to share some overarching things in case it's helpful, because I don't want any person practicing self-doubt and self-criticism, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I want us to avoid that depressive style of thought whenever we can help it, whenever we can catch those thoughts. My inner therapist and licensed therapist, I am actually licensed, but like the therapist within doesn't want you to have to feel like that because it's maladaptive, truth be told. So, hey, let's do some other stuff, right? Because we're out here to win and live abundant lives. Okay, so here's what I'm working on, and some things have worked out, some things not so much, because like my sleep got all messed up with, so I went on my, every year since I've moved back to my hometown, my friends and I have gone on a beach retreat. We call it Willandia. And so we had Willandia 3 in, recent August, mid-August. And it was a beautiful time. There was a hot tub, a private hot tub. So your girl was getting her soak on, kicking my feet up, watching movies. We make a beautiful gourmet meal. And this year the theme was New Orleans. So we got down. My friend Tracy made these amazing, all my friends cook and like make amazing food, but the thing that I had never tried before was a voodoo roll, and it was so freaking good, but everything was bomb, truth be told. Okay, but my sleep was a mess after that. I realized my charger's gonna die, so I have to get to the facts of it. So back to all that to say, like my sleep is kind of janky right now. So I'm working on my sleep hygiene of trying to go to bed earlier and taking a bedtime tea, like a chamomile tea. I have melatonin, 10 milligrams in the cabinet, and I also take magnesium, which is also another way of improving sleep and sleeping more deeply. So I'm working on that. I try not to take the melatonin 10 grams because it usually gives me like these strange lucid dreams. But if I'm like really out of sorts, I might think about it, so I have them around. So I'm working on sleep hygiene, of going to bed early so that way I can get up early. I cannot necessarily get up early first. So when I want to do sleep training, I have to actually go to bed early, figure out how to make myself sleepy and exhaust myself so I go to bed early so that way I can wake up early. It's way more efficient than trying to wake myself up early, being exhausted all day, and then, trying to get back in my sleep routine like double dutch. You gotta jump in when you can. So for me, I'm working on bedtime, going to bed earlier, and I think I'm gonna really try to be more consistent, because some days I have not had consistency there, but I really want to do this because my workouts depend on it. So like with the move, I was exhausted just preparing. So I was working out just preparing to move. So I fell out of my routine with my workouts. But if I can go to bed early, I get up and I like to work out at 7. I have an elliptical machine that I purchased, saved up for months to purchase one. And I have a walking pad. So I can do my morning workout, which is basically 35 minutes on the elliptical and then 15 minutes on glutes, because that's losing some weight has changed my form, and I want my muscles back. I want my shape back, because I had more of an hourglass, and now I feel more like a olive oil situation. It's not true, I think it's in my head, but I'm still do the work because I do know I lost some inches on my hips and glutes. Anywho, so first thing is making sure I go to bed early, using some sleeping tools. Also, to go to bed earlier, I have to stop with the TV. I don't even watch TV every day, but I have to make sure to be done with it by 7. So that's my cutoff, because I have to reduce stimulus. Because if I'm watching shows and stuff later than that, on the days I am watching shows, I'll usually stagger because I don't want to be stuck watching TV every day because I have other things I want to do. And so I'm in a practice where I've been able to do that, I think, for the last year or so. But TV cut off by 7 o'clock if I am going to watch TV, and only music with no lyrics, because I need my mind to like release stimulus overload and go into decompression and detox mode. So that's when I'm busting out the journal, I'm busting out my Holy Bible because I love reading, and I have a Bible study group I found that I'm really having a lot of fun with. So I like to, study on my own, or review my notes from Bible study as well, and then refer to my Bible. I will do some reading as well, or like organizational stuff about what I need to be doing for the week. I spent some time recently just working on my meal prep for the week, and that went really well. I made this bomb protein breakfast cake, which is super good. And I figured out a way to get the grams of protein per serving to 17 grams, pairing it with a serving of protein yogurt, which is 17 grams, with like some pecans and chopped peaches in it. So that's exciting for me because I'm a foodie. So things are going good there. So meal prepping helps me buy back time, which helps reduce my stress, which also helps me to reduce my outreach or first defense of stimulus, grabbing that phone and just, numbing out behind the screen. So I am working really hard on these practices. It's getting it looks like it's about to rain, so like the lighting has shifted, so I'm sorry about that. It might just be a cloud passing, or it might be about to rain because it was raining yesterday. But I'm gonna keep talking. We just gonna finish this conversation real quick. So all in all, these are some practices that I've been working on, like basically making my day have more flow, trying to go to bed earlier, reducing stimulus, using bedtime practices or sleep hygiene practices to help with restlessness. And I also have done this a couple times this week where I give myself a decompression hour. So in between clients or on my lunch break or even after work, I will set a timer where I'm just putting my phone in the drawer, putting the remote in the drawer, and either going outside and walking around or staying inside and just not having any sort of screen available to me, just to see what else I might be likely to do. And I find that I tend to do chores, which is great. I mean, while my kids are with their dad, I don't have a whole bunch of chores to do on my own because I'm just one person, and I'm naturally a little bit more orderly about not leaving a bunch of stuff everywhere compared to my kids at least. So I find that I tend to do chores or like organizational stuff, or I run my errands. And I'm not necessarily forgetting to do those things or stacking them well into my weekend. So these are some things that I personally have found very effective. So I really do like the decompression or detox hour implementation, going to bed earlier, meal prepping, sleep and bedtime supplementations, making sure screen time wraps by 7 p.m. And I am a person who has to literally turn off my phone and put it in a drawer and plan not to use it. I have to make it like several steps before I can touch the phone. Otherwise, everything that I think will have me reaching for my phone. So if I find that that's a pattern, or I feel that like impulse, I just get a pen and paper and start writing down all the things that I'm reaching for my phone for, so I don't forget, which means I still don't really feel that compelled to pick up my phone. So that's a really good hack for when you find like you're constantly reaching for your phone. Just get a piece of paper and write down all the stuff, because half of the time what I was reaching for my phone to do is to use my notes app just so I don't forget things. So pen and paper works fine. So I am going to be back. I have tons of video ideas that I want to share. I can't wait to talk about all the stuff that's been passing through my brain, and I want to share it with you in case it could be helpful to you, useful to you, or good food for thought for you. So that's coming up, and I want to make sure for any person who's watching who wanted to see the second part of the healing our mother wound video, where I'll be talking about healing our father wound. It's coming. I just wanted to talk with my dad to get his perspective as a man who has a relationship with his father and who is now also a father. I thought that'd be interesting dynamics to include for that. So, and also I'd love to share in that video kind of what I've noticed as a therapist working with men who have father wounds versus women who have father wounds, and how they're a little bit different. Some things are the same, but some things are different. So, yeah, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that if you're on your solitude, stillness, within peace and centering journey as well, that it's going well, and hopefully some of the tools have helped. Tell me in the comments below what has been most helpful for you. Have you tried any of these techniques? Are you going to try any of the techniques? How's your sleep going? What works well? And I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I would love to have you as a subscriber here with all of us. And please be sure, if nothing else, to just put a little heart in the comment section to show a little love to the channel. I appreciate you greatly, and I look forward to catching the next video. Take good care. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.